and welcome to Caribbean Connections, Caribbean Airlines Thought Leadership Series, where we sit and chat with leaders from throughout the region and the diaspora about their journeys and their vision for the Caribbean. In this episode, we have the opportunity to chat once again with Mr. Adam Stewart, the Executive Chairman of Sandals Resorts International and the President of the Sandals Foundation. He shares with us some of his perspectives and insights into key aspects of issues impacting regional tourism. Mr. Stewart, welcome to Caribbean Connections. We are thrilled to have you here with us. It's been a long time coming, but no time like the present. So we'll get right into it. And as you are well aware, you lead the most well-known Caribbean brand. Can you share some of the critical success factors that have contributed to, and more than that, continue to enable the success of Sandals?
Absolutely. Firstly, let me just say what a wonderful privilege it is to be here, to spend a little bit of time with you. I think in our company, Dion, we know exactly who we are. Like you, your name says it all, Caribbean. Sandals is the hospitality giant of the Caribbean. Born in the Caribbean in Jamaica in 1981, very clearly spread its wings across this archipelago, this incredible archipelago known as the Caribbean, moving into Antigua, St. Lucia, Bahamas, Turks and Caicos, Barbados, Grenada, now Curacao, right through the entire Caribbean. Our magic has come from our belief in the Caribbean, its people, its culture, and knowing the potential that exists here in the Caribbean, with very clear training, with very clear sights to the future. We have invested in this region, and we work with our team members day in, day out to execute world-class hospitality in what we believe is the most beautiful part of the world.
I would have to agree with you about the extensive beauty of our region. I think sometimes because we're immersed in it, some may take it for granted, but not Sandals. I've had the opportunity, fortunately, to stay at several of your resorts, and I can say, without fear of contradiction, the experience has been better each and every time. When you thought that, okay, this really couldn't get better, you all have continued to raise the bar for hospitality in the region, which we value. But it brings us to another point of discussion in the context of our tourism products here in the region. And how do you think that our Caribbean tourism products compare to some of the international brands?
Well, our success, Dion, has come from this fundamental belief system. I mean, you have to first believe in yourself. You have to look around, you have to be passionate, you have to be on fire every single day to be outperforming the world. The world is an immensely large place with a number of things happening, not just in hospitality, but in any industry. So our power has come, our superpower has come from this belief system in the Caribbean, as I mentioned before. So it's people first and foremost. If you smile at a Caribbean national, somebody's going to smile back at you. The melodies, the rhythms, the accents, and the way we talk, the gastronomic experiences, the street food, the festivals, the carnivals, all of the elements coming together make us an absolutely fascinating part of the world. We are right under North America, on the doorstep of North America. And what we have done is we've been able to look at this region, being from this region, and said, we've been given people, we've been given the culture, we have been given the gastronomic journey within our story, and this natural beauty, the mountains, the rivers, the beaches. And when you mash it all up and you put it together, the Caribbean outperforms anywhere on God's planet from a hospitality and experiential point of view. And I think we have to continue to remind ourselves that, and just like you said earlier, not take it for granted. It's so easy to take this natural beauty for granted. As I look out my office window here, I'm looking at the beautiful Caribbean Sea. The water is electric blue. It's a perfect day. And you could take it for granted, but not us at Sandals. Every day we know that where we live is a magical place, and we intend to utilize our time here and make sure that we share that with the world.
It is indeed magical. You mentioned in one of your previous responses the idea of training. Now, each Sandals resort that you visit, while the cultural aspect is almost unique to the particular territory, that training is unbeatable, the standard of the training. What accounts for that? What is that bit of magic?
It's the brand. So it's brand Sandals. We know that, as a company, we have a saying where we say, we hire the talent and we train the skill. So we're looking for those magnanimous Caribbean nationals without necessarily needing any skill. When they join our organization, we're looking for the personalities, the people that exemplify the best of what is a Caribbean. And then we teach them that skill. So truthfully, wherever we are in the Caribbean, any destination, you're seeing that consistency. So we have an incredible vehicle in our company. We call it the Sandals Corporate University. It's an internationally accredited on-the-job training institution in every hotel and resort in every island. And it is completely paid for by the organization that allows our people to get exposure and access to the world's best trends, hospitality, technical training and services. And that has been the backbone of what has made Sandals stand out from any other hospitality chain worldwide and in this part of the world.
Excellent. So that we must, of course, deal with, it's becoming less of an elephant now, but that sort of yoke that we've been carrying for the past 3 years or so in terms of the pandemic. And the impact of the pandemic on tourism is very well documented. How did Sandals cope with the fallout? And what were some of the key learnings for the organization?
Well, the unthinkable happened in March 2020, which is truly when it started to impact the Caribbean. We started getting phone calls that borders of Caribbean islands were going to be closing and borders around the world, that international air travel for the first time in the history worldwide of jet travel. The reality is that we had to make the best decisions that we could from the onset with the information that we had at the time. What I would say was we made in the Caribbean, I think, very responsible decisions with the information we had. We moved swiftly, and we understood quite well that the notion that tourism and travel to the Caribbean would never recover, I don't think we in the Caribbean accepted that for even a moment. And with that knowledge, our mission became to craft what ultimately became some of the world's leading health and safety protocols and implement them. And in tourism, we are a very learned set of people. We're used to getting training. And the tourism sector did the most remarkable job across the industry of implementing these health and safety protocols and keeping everyone safe. And those learnings also walked right back into our communities across the Caribbean, which kept families safe. So probably the most beautiful thing for me, beyond the day we were able to recover and reopen resort by resort and destination by destination, was something took place in COVID and during COVID, which in my life I've never yet seen happen so harmoniously. All the competitors of tourism put down their competitive differences. Hoteliers, restaurateurs, tour operators, transportation companies, the whole ecosystem of tourism came together for the first time, multiple destinations around the table for the very same cause. And that cause was the reopening. That destination was the reopening of Caribbean tourism. And it was an absolutely beautiful thing to witness. And one of my great hopes is that we can continue with that unity, because we're always stronger together, and that we can fight and battle the challenges that we'll have into the future by pulling together and standing united and strong and representing the Caribbean as a region, and not individual companies or individual states, but looking at the bigger picture and recognizing we compete on the world stage. And it's an absolute honor and privilege for consumers to come and spend time with us in the Caribbean, and that we don't soon lose that unity.
Indeed. And the thing is, highlighting that fact of the region, the world actually views us very much as a region, but we of course need to view ourselves as a region. And coming out of COVID, we will continue to rise out of COVID only by supporting one another and sharing that, putting our resources together as a collective, because there is indeed great strength in numbers, and using that intellectual and practical know-how and experience that we have as a region, and knowing the ins and outs of this business in spite of the abnormality that COVID brought with it. This is a wonderful segue into some of the strategic priorities for your business in the next 2 to 3 years. Of course, sure you would have given consideration to that. We know in this industry we live very much ahead as best as we are able. So can you share some of these strategic priorities insofar as you can with us?
I mean, in one simple word, it's growth. We believe in this region endlessly. We acquired during the pandemic 4 new resorts, 2 in Jamaica, 1 in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and 1 in Curacao, which is the first time our company has ever left the English-speaking Caribbean, moving into the Dutch Caribbean. In addition to those, we have opened Curacao already this year, Sandals Royal Curacao. We are opening early 2024, St. Vincent, which is a brand new resort, completely transformed. The 2 resorts that we acquired in Jamaica, one opens in May 2023, and we start development on the next resort next summer for a 2025 opening. So in addition to that, there are more destinations in the Caribbean that we believe the Sandals and Beaches Resorts flag should be in. We look forward to promoting those destinations and bringing the power of commerce of what Sandals does, the inclusivity to our farmers, to our fishers, to our tour providers, transportation providers, taxi drivers, etc. And for us, it's looking to the future through a future lens, or looking at life rather through a future lens of what the Caribbean can be. Relevancy to the consumer is absolutely paramount. Being on the cutting edge and never accepting that what is of the Caribbean and born in the Caribbean should be second rate to anywhere else in the world. And in so doing, always staying focused on our superpowers. And you'll keep hearing me say that word superpower, understanding who you are and what you are and why it is that travelers would come to our part of the world vis-a-vis Paris or New York. We are clearly different in so many ways, and never forgetting what those are and refining them, evolving, making sure that our destinations are always safe, making sure that our destinations are always ready and prepared for our visitors, making sure that we create the environment for our people in the Caribbean to coexist in a symbiotic relationship with the visitors who choose to spend their hard-earned money and come and see us in the Caribbean. No relationship ever works to its full potential unless there are wins on both sides of any deal. And I think the Caribbean has done it masterfully over the last 50, 60 years of tourism really becoming mainstream. And at this junction, we have to take the learnings from COVID, the power of unity, the power of togetherness, and the power of making swift, bold decisions now to make sure that the products that we create for our visitors are second to none anywhere in the world. And I have total confidence that we're already on that road.
Speaking of superpowers, Mr. Stewart, what's your superpower? What motivates you from day to day?
That's a good question. I think my family's superpower is its belief in people. Vision is, building bricks and mortar and concrete. It takes creativity, knowing what to put where to develop a resort, never compromising on, in our world, Sandals our tagline is love is all you need. Everything else is included in our all-inclusive. We love to be on westward facing beaches. We love to be where the sun sets, where you can see it in front. We love to be in the most beautiful parts of the Caribbean. And we've never compromised on the real estate. We've built fascinating villas and spas and incredible concrete that architecturally you look at and it inspires you and it's beautiful. But all of that without the people. We are a business that is just around 18,000 team members strong across the Caribbean. Without the people, without the belief system, without the motivation, all of it coming together, they are simply walls and hallways without the soul of who we are. And I believe, and I learned this from my late father, the Honorable Gordon Wood Stewart, who was our founder of Sandals Resorts. He started this journey as a single man, and he knew from day one he never wanted to do it alone. And one person turned into two, people turned into three, to now being the largest Caribbean organization and by far the largest brand. It's this determination every day to believe in the Caribbean, to believe in their people, and to have big, bold vision, to have big dreams, and to recognize that we can achieve these things right here in the Caribbean. And no one should ever say that we can't, because we've proven that we have and we can. To answer your question, it is the belief. It is the belief in the word Caribbean, and to believe in the people of the Caribbean and the natural beauty of the Caribbean and everything we do in between. Our mission here is to share the best of the four corners of the Caribbean with the world, because there's something here that you just can't find anywhere else in the world.
I think that's the perfect note for us to end our discussion. It has been a pleasure, insightful. You truly believe in your brand, and I see that passion coming through. So, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it, in the words of none other than Adam Stewart, the executive chairman of the Sandals Group. So, thank you for joining us, and see you next time.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful time.